Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Blue Jays Today, folks. Where today, guys, we've got to talk about the September call-ups. It is, in fact, September 2nd, meaning that we got less than 1 month of regular season baseball to play, and effectively 1 month of just Blue Jays baseball in general, because unless a miracle happens, we will not be making postseason. But you guys already knew that. So we got to talk about who they're bringing up. Also, as well, that week that just happened, 15-0?
Dude.
What?
Amazing.
That was a
awesome.
wild game. I wish it could have happened on the game that we were live for, watching on YouTube. That one we lost in just embarrassing fashion, just a typical
Typical Friday night stream for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. I
Today,
forget what was it, 2-0 or
2-0.
It wasn't
awful.
great. But when you come back with 15-0 after that, clearly we got to shed some light on what is going on over there. And then, of course, the upcoming week, everything going on with this team. Welcome in, folks. I already see, this is hilarious. I see a comment in here already. We literally just went live. Somebody saying, can't wait for next season. I hear you. I really do hear you, man. Obviously, that's where we're at right now. I saw some comments from George Springer, actually, this morning, just talking about how hopefully this is going to be a learning experience for him, for the team, moving on. He is starting to already think about 2025, which is really important. We kind of need the bounce back from him. But I think I was really hoping that once these September call-ups came around, we could start thinking even more about 2025, because the guys that we were going to bring up would be impact players for said season. That isn't the case. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we were all anticipating something special to happen at the September call-ups, like I think everybody does with their team. You might as well add the big prospect guys, but I think the reality is, as we just get a dono in here. What's up, Dave Pope saying 5-month member, looking forward to the next season, but still having fun watching extended trials for the new guys. Absolutely. Welcome in, everybody, also on this holiday Monday here in Canada. Look, we have a lot of prospects on our team already, so adding in more prospects at the September call-ups, maybe that was overkill, maybe because they don't have enough playing time to go around for all these guys. But the guys that ended up calling up are Mr. Brandon Isert and Luis De Los Santos, and we already seen Luis De Los Santos up to the big leagues as well as Brandon Isert. So these aren't the sexy call-ups that we all expected, and I know that I made a video talking about, who should we expect to see up? Actually, Nathan Lucas was one of those guys. He actually did get called up. I think that was probably the plan if it weren't for a little bit of a change of the roles for Stuart Baroa. But you didn't see Jake Bloss. You didn't see Jonathan Clase, and it's for the reasons like I mentioned. I think, look, as much as I'd like to see those guys up, that might be a guy that's sitting on the bench for all the time. And I don't know if that's the right thing for those dudes right now. What are your kind of 2 cents on that?
Well, just looking over here at Luis De Los Santos, just to remind everybody what it is that he's done. The guy's only had 11 at-bats this season. Actually, 11 at-bats in his whole career. He's got a 523 OPS, but again, can't really go off of 11 at-bats. That'd be very unfair to the guy. He's 26 years old, not really a top prospect for us anymore. And then you look over at Brandon Isert, similarly small sample size right there, 4.2 innings pitched to a pretty rough ERA of 5.79. But again, similarly to Luis De Los Santos, unfair to him to just go off of that.
Right.
But, effectively, maybe this is disservice to these guys. Maybe they're going to pop off. But, underwhelming players to bring up. And I think, guys that I wouldn't necessarily anticipate to be on the starting roster next year, walking into 2025. Or at least, I'll be honest, I hope they're not on the starting roster next year, or else probably something went very, very wrong. So it was a little disappointing not to see Jake Bloss come up. For me, especially Jake Bloss, because I think that there is a reality that he could be part of the rotation next year, right? Looking at the depth of this team right now, the starting pitchers that we have, you got to lock in Kevin Gausman, you got to lock in Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, assuming he doesn't get traded, and then with the way that he's playing right now, you got to lock in Bowden Francis, and then you look at that 5th spot and you go, well, is it going to be a Yario Rodriguez? He hasn't been so good as of late. Is it going to be an Alek Manoah? We don't know how healthy he's going to be come next season. Also, we don't know what we're going to get out of him either. So then I'm kind of looking at Jake Bloss as like that next man up, because Ricky Tiedemann, for instance, the other top prospect, he is right now going to be recovering from Tommy John. So Jake Bloss was the guy that I really wanted to see come up to the show, just get a couple games to serve as that audition period for next season. If we really like what he's got, if we really like the stuff that he has, maybe you don't need to go out and you don't need to sign a Jack Flaherty in the offseason. But if he comes up and it's like, blow up Central, we're not hitting any of our spots, that might ignite the fire just a little bit more to go out and do that. So I still am holding out hope that we will see him.
Right.
Yeah. But I was obviously disappointed not to see his name, come September 1st.
Yeah, I think just because he doesn't get called up on Sunday doesn't mean he's not going to get called up in general. I mean, just because it's September 1st and the calendar rolls over doesn't mean that Jake Bloss's, development in the AAA, whatever they sent him to AAA for a reason, to go and work on a few things and to understand his pitch sequencing, his pitch types, and how they want to utilize him in games. So just because the calendar turns over doesn't mean that all of a sudden Jake Bloss is ready to come up. That's not to say that he won't come up eventually, like you're talking about. Actually, one thing to note: when I made my video room, when back on Monday, I believe it was, talking about Jake Bloss being a guy to be called up, he had 9 2/3 innings pitched in AAA, 0 earned runs. Let me just put this in perspective, guys. Maybe they said, something didn't work here, because now he's at 11 1/3 and 8 earned runs. So do the math. That's 2 innings of work, roughly, and 8 earned runs. So clearly something was wrong. Maybe they got to work on it. But kind of like what you saw, I saw someone commented in the chat just a moment ago, that they sat Springer, they sat Guerrero in yesterday's game. I mean, it's September. It's been 5 months of baseball. It's a long season, so you got to get these guys off their feet. Maybe there's a bit of tanking in there. I don't know. But you got to get these guys off their feet for some rest so that you get ready for the next season. Same thing you got to do with the rotation. Jake Bloss is going to come up and be that guy that maybe could add a little bit more innings to give some other guys some rest in that spot.
Yeah, I don't think, just to that point about tanking, I personally don't think there's any tanking involved here. I think it really is just about, this is spring training for us, man. I kind of had that realization when we were going live for one of the games last week, and I was like, shit, like this really does feel like a preseason, like a spring training game, just like a exhibition type of thing, because for us, the result doesn't matter. I mean, I know that there's been a little bit of, hope in regards to the playoffs and everything like that, but I haven't looked in a little bit. I would imagine that our odds right now are probably 0.1% having lost that series to Minnesota. Like, you'd effectively need to go lossless for the rest of the season, just win out entirely to even have a shot right there. And even then, you don't know if you're going to make it. So, playoffs, probably not a thing. Actually, guaranteed not a thing. This is just seeing what we got right here, making sure everybody's healthy, making sure everybody gets their reps. For Guerrero, probably making sure that he hits, a couple nice career highs to keep that confidence high and everything like that. But I guess it is for that reason that I was a little surprised that we did not see a Jonathan Clase and everything like that. Because if the idea is, well, we're going to start limiting some of this playing time for maybe a George Springer, just don't want him to get hurt or anything like that, or just take it easy, might be a good opportunity to give those guys a few more reps.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but we also still we have so many mouths to feed if you're thinking about young guys auditioning right now. Like, you got Will Wagner, Joey Loperfido, Addison Barger, Leo Jimenez is kind of a necessity at this point, playing shortstop. He's got to play every day. And then, and now you got actually Nathan Lucas up. I know Nathan Lucas ain't a prospect, but that's the kind of guy that the organization has been waiting for an opportunity to put in, right? Because he's not a top prospect, there's no rush to bring him up and see what he's got. But it's like, now there's a window, and he's getting to that age where he's going to be turning 30 next year.
Yeah.
And I said this before, he's too good for AAA, but we got to see what he's going to do at the major league level. He's never had enough at-bats to really see it. And I see you're pulling up David Schneider.
I know.
Maybe. I mean, look, he's kind of reverted to that bench role, and he's not getting any playing time. So there's always a couple roles on the bench that are gonna get really shafted for playing time. So unless Jonathan Clase's got an immediate, I can get a 50-50 roll out of the gate, I think it's probably better to keep him down.
Man, I'm pulling up David Schneider right now. We've talked about it, I think, on the last 2 or 3 Blue Jays Today shows. I'm kind of disappointed that we haven't sent him down yet. And that's no hate on David Schneider. I fucking love David Schneider, everybody. I'm sure if you guys have been listening to this channel for a while, I think both of us, everybody loves David Schneider. Just a great overall human being. But it is because of the fact that I love this guy and I want him to do well. I don't understand why we're just letting him rot away on the bench right now, thinking about his 194 batting average and OPS plus of 78. Like, this is somebody that needs to get sent down to AAA to actually get a couple reps in here and, maybe just find something before walking into the offseason. Because I'll tell you right now, if you walk into the offseason with that slash line right there, like, you are going to be so in the pits for so long.
The thing is, he already will be, because I think at this rate, you're right, keeping him here is doing nothing to help him out, right? He's not going to get any better just sitting on the bench and playing every third or fourth game. Like, that's not going to happen. He needs to be in the lineup in AAA Buffalo. He needs regular reps.
Yeah. Can I clarify actually what I meant by that? Yes, because you're right. He will start. He will probably finish with a slash line very similar to this one. But I guess what I was hinting to right there is, at least if you can go down to AAA Buffalo, maybe you have a couple games here where you start to find it a little bit. Start to get that feeling back of I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just terrible down there too, and then he's even further down in the tank.
Right.
But right now, just sitting on the bench and stewing in this.
Yeah.
That's the worst possible case scenario. You got to get out there and you got to have a couple good games to at least instill yourself with confidence. I can still fucking play baseball.
Yeah. I mean, look, Fruity in here in the chat saying, can't start David next year. I'm sorry, but he's not doing good. Don't have to be sorry. I think that's the reality. At this point, I'm not starting Davis in the starting lineup. Last year, yes, I wanted him to be in the starting lineup, but this year, it's not the case. And unfortunately for Davis, he's going to actually have to take a step back and prove himself again at a AAA level.
That's what it is.
We have guys that are doing so well. I mean, we're going to get to him later, but Will Wagner, just phenomenal since coming up. He's kind of looking like David Schneider when he came up last year.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Loperfido starting to turn around, Barger starting to turn it around. That's two dudes in the infield, Wagner and Barger, that are immediately taking over the spot of David Schneider. And that's why he's sitting on the bench every fourth day, because you want those guys to play.
And both of those players in Barger and Wagner, I mean, Wagner's not even a super highly touted prospect, but he was certainly higher than what David Schneider was. But I don't even think David Schneider was a top 30 prospect.
He was
just somebody who was in the system, was doing well enough in AAA to get the call, and then had an incredible weekend in Fenway Park and kind of won the hearts over of everybody. But you've already, from an organizational standpoint, you are probably going to be willing to invest more time, invest more resources into a Will Wagner, somebody who you just, traded away assets to get, and then also an Addison Barger, who was a top 10 prospect for you for 2 or 3 years or something like that. He was in that system for a minute. You're going to be willing to invest more time, invest more at-bats, just invest more everything into those guys than a David Schneider. It sucks to admit, but David Schneider, it's I don't want to say that you're on your own, because you're certainly not on your own, but it's you've got to work extra hard to reconvince this organization that you deserve this spot. I really hope that he does, because, again, with the way that he's played recently, obviously, there's a lot of holes in his game. You can very easily criticize him, but the effort and the type of human being he is, and the guy that the thing that he adds to the clubhouse, I think just across the board, I think David Schneider is somebody that you want to have on your ball team. Obviously, though, he needs to be hitting a bit better than this.
He does, because right now, like I said, man, there's a clear guy that's obviously dominating right now in the big league level, and that is Will Wagner.
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
Before we get into it, guys, I think this is a prime opportunity right now to crown the J of the week. Of course, it is Will Wagner, everybody. It is Will Wagner. I don't have a photo of him because for whatever reason, the website's not wanting Will Wagner's photos out there that we can use personally, but I'll flash it over here. Will Wagner's stats have just been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, in a week where he literally had an OPS plus of 1.4. Let me find it right here. There we go. 1.421. Batting average of 474. Yeah, I mean, sure, he didn't get a walk, didn't get hit by a pitch, but the contact with this guy is what continues to impress me. I broke him down in a video, and what just is most impressive is his plate coverage, outside, inside, his plate discipline. Even though he doesn't walk a lot, he's got great pitch selection in this early going. He's hitting highs, hitting lows, hitting all around the plate, and they're finding a few gaps here, and then finding the the fence with 2 homers and 3 doubles. Will Wagner cooked this week.
Yeah, across the board, man. I'm pulling up his baseball savant right now, everybody. When you look at the percentiles, they're not filled in yet because the sample size has just been a little bit too low. But I see a lot of red right there, folks. The guy's hitting the ball extremely hard. He's got an incredible expected batting average, an incredible expected slugging. He's squaring the ball up like that looks to be in the 99th percentile right there.
Yeah.
So, like barreling, squaring it up, like just everything that indicates that you are hitting the baseball in the exact proper spot. It is all working in Will Wagner's favor right now.
It kind of reminds me of a little Bo Bichette in a way, where less free swinging because he's actually what I want Bo Bichette to be in this short sample size.
Yeah.
Like he makes a lot of contact. He has great swing choices. He's able to get to pitches all over the zone. But he's got that plate discipline. And right now, as a rookie, the reason why he's not walking too much, people are just attacking him.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you could find there, like, what is his strike percentage or how many times he's in the zone. Like, I bet it's a lot. Like, because as a rookie, they're going to come right after you.
Yeah.
And he's doing damage.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, and also too, like the zone swing percentage, like they're in the zone a little bit more than player average.
Yeah.
He's swinging at all those pitches. He's making great contact. So
92% zone contact.
yeah,
Holy crap.
Yeah, which is about roughly 10% higher than MLB average there. So if it's in the zone, he will make contact with it. He will either put it in play or foul that one off. So Will Wagner across the board, he deserves some hats off right there and a little bit of a round of applause for doing that. Now I do see somebody in the comments right now just saying, like, everybody temper expectations. Will Wagner, kind of similar to what Dave Schneider was last year, and that is something that we got to note here, folks.
Sure.
Like, you're going to have these players that come up and have these like little hot stretches here and there. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily part of the future. Like, Will Wagner is still, and we have to keep this in mind, I think the 21st ranked prospect in the Toronto Blue Jays system, and our system sucks ass. So it's like, you compare that to everybody around the league, just from a prospect pedigree standpoint, this is not somebody that's extremely highly touted. Like, there is a little bit of promise there, but probably the potential here that most scouts think is that, maybe one day he could be like a bench bat type of player, here and there, spot start. So we love what he's doing right now, but we also got to factor in that this is a small sample size. However, on a team where it's all about auditions and it's all about youth and it's all about everything, we also need to acknowledge the positive, that is, this guy is killing the baseball.
Yeah, and look, part of the audition, like if he comes out of the gate hot, he doesn't earn a job. Well, yeah, sure, you could continue playing time, but what I need to see as a major league manager, or if I'm a GM of any organization, if to believe in a player, I need to see the next phase, which is the adjustment phase, where the pitchers are all going to start around the league. They're going to start making adjustments. They're going to look at your baseball savant. They're going to look at what pitches you struggle with, what pitches you're good at, what area of the zone. Just like David Schneider, when we broke it down, top of the zone, top of the way, fastball, he gets destroyed. Once they find that and they start pounding that area, you'll probably start to struggle, but now it's the readjustment. What you've been doing will not continue to work. You need to now make that readjustment and get those pitches and get them for base hits, right? When I think about Bo Bichette before this season, when they were throwing sliders away, man, he would just get out there and put them in play for base hits. It's like, well, where can I actually pitch you?
Yeah.
I literally can't pitch you anywhere when he was hot, when Bo Bichette was hot as forever. So that's what I got to see. We're at that first part still with Will Wagner. We got to see what the league does to readjust to him.
Speaking of Bo Bichette, I just wanted to bring up, a little while ago, like you had John Schneider just come out and say that Bo is continuing to progress well. He's going to have a little bit of a lighter day from a running standpoint today. This was like yesterday or 2 days ago or something. But he's going to be hitting, taking ground balls, and doing everything else baseball-wise. He's making progress for sure. Toronto Blue Jays have 24 games remaining or something like that. I think a lot of people were anticipating that the September call-ups might be the moment where Bo Bichette comes back up here or does something, but he still hasn't started like a rehab start yet. So at this point, like, are we expecting to see this guy at all? Because John Schneider keeps talking about how it's like, we're excited to see him again, but 24 games left. The last game is on September 29th. He hasn't even started with AAA yet. Like, what are we doing here?
I think if he doesn't start a rehab assignment in like this week, I think there's no point. Like, okay, you start a rehab assignment this week. Okay, maybe you call him up for the weekend, right? There's only 2 games this week. Call him up for the weekend. Let's see. Or when are we back in? Are we back in Toronto for this series? Let me go check. Actually,
take a look at that right now. I'm just looking at the standings just to make sure that I did get math right.
We are back in Toronto. So with that being said, I mean, you'd think you'd come back Toronto, come back and start playing. Whatever it is, the next flip, either be on the road or going back home. Maybe the next road trip you go bring him up. But if he's not ready by then, dude, there's no point bringing him up for like 2 or 1 week.
Well, also, let me just correct myself. We actually have 23 games remaining. 23 games. So, yeah, like if you really think about that, right? Like, okay, let's say that, he gets his rehab start, right now. He plays a week down there. That's another, like, 5 Toronto Blue Jays games that are gone.
Right.
Like, you're only going to get maybe 15 games of Bo Bichette. Like, and that's if he starts the rehab assignment today.
Yeah, and my thing is, like, I want to still see what Leo has more in him. You know what I mean? Like, Leo's been playing so much. Like, let him finish the season. I know what Bo Bichette is. I know what this season was. I'm still comfortable if you have him on the team. Like, he's going to get a starting role. Like, there's really nothing left for Bo Bichette to prove. Your stats, if you even got a hot 2 weeks or 1 week, it ain't going to fix the thing, your whole slash line. Like, I know who you are this season. Let's can it. Let's put it away. I'd rather see a month more of Leo Jimenez.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And I think that also as well, like, if we're talking about, we're talking about David Schneider, how it's like, well, you probably want to go refine your shit down in AAA. There's a lot of shit that Bo's got to refine.
There's a lot of shit.
There's a lot of stuff, and if you're trying to bring him up to MLB, you'd probably have to rush the rehab start.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a week, probably, maximum type thing to even have an opportunity to do this.
He's got to see some live pitching,
Yeah,
like, it's been a while.
like this guy's gonna take a minute, like he was hurt, he was terrible. It's like the attitude wasn't there. I think you just keep him down there in AAA. I think you do start him. I think you get him some type of rehab start of some kind. But just keep him down there in AAA and let him do his thing. Let him figure it out. Keep the media off him. I see absolutely no reason at all to bring him up. And to your point about Leo Jimenez, I mean, this guy's making fucking highlight level plays out there.
Literally.
Who saw that catch in the net? Leo Jimenez running over there said, "No, it's mine. It's my ball." And he threw the body in there and made just what was potentially one of the better defensive plays I've seen all season long, especially from these Toronto Blue Jays. So, yeah, I think this kid 100% deserves the most time up here right now because this could be somebody for the future if Bo Bichette gets traded or doesn't stay here long term.
It might be. You know what? Like, as a replacement guy, Leo Jimenez, I've never been disappointed or excited. I think the most exciting play was that net play.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Which was nuts. Also, I think it was so crazy, the exchange between Leo Jimenez and Barger. Like, as he dives in, hits his head off a railing, he's like lying there in the net. Barger, first thing he comes over, he's like, "Give me the ball, give me the ball." And he's like, gives him the ball, throws it in, gets the double play, and then jokingly Leo was like, "What, you didn't want to check me and ask how I was feeling?" And then after that play.
Dude, that's two guys right there who play hard.
Yeah, literally.
It's like when the play is done, we can check on you, we can figure it out. You threw the body on the line. Addison Barger's like, it's almost like a respect thing. It's like, this guy threw his body on the line. We better fucking make this play right now, You're not throwing your body in vain here,
That actually was kind of crazy. The guy thought he could tag up from second base and score. Like, that was like, he got thrown up by Mob. But Leo Jimenez, a lot of people have been really liking what they're seeing from him. And I mean, it's the offensive numbers is literally as average as you could possibly be. It's OPS plus of 100. He's got a 233 batting average and an on base of 325 and a WAR of 0.8. So in 133 at bats, let's say you did that through a whole season. Well, you're looking at a maybe 3 WAR guy. You got a little an IKF here cooking or something. You know what I mean? Like, but defensively, he apparently is kind of less than average, so I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought he did a little bit better according to the eyeball test, but eyeball test, as we know, in modern day defensive metrics, doesn't tell you the full picture. But again, a guy that's not hurting your team, a guy that's not excelling. So for me, Leo, I'm liking the first introduction to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And keep in mind, this was a top prospect for a while.
Number 5.
He's graduated now. Like, he's not in the system anymore. But yeah, I mean, like, one of our top names up there for quite a while. Like, he, again, similarly to an Addison Barger, deserves potentially a longer leash or, more resources to see what he's got in the tank than some of these other guys. That's just the way that it is. So, Leo Jimenez, liking the effort, liking what we're seeing right there. And ultimately, if we had to choose between, 10 games of, injured and, somebody who's not going to sign an extension, Bo Bichette,
literally,
or Leo Jimenez, who could potentially be on this team for maybe 5 years to come, I'll take Leo Jimenez
every
10
day.
times at a time.
Dude, it's so funny, man. I'm not trying to take shots at Bo Bichette right now, but it's like every time I see a post of Toronto Blue Jays pushing Bo Bichette like coverage onto us, like he's with the team right now. He was in Minnesota. He was signing hats, and they're like, Bo's got love for the fans, and then go to the comments, and it's like, yeah, but he literally doesn't want to play here.
Right.
Like, and I think that's an effort of the media to try and like fix his image a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
Like at least the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, but I think we all know the picture. We've already covered it, guys. Like, he clearly has already stated, like, he doesn't want to be.
Man, I mean, like, I think the Toronto media just thinks that their fans are extremely stupid. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we are.
Sometimes I can
we
be
are.
so stupid.
Yeah, like 100% sometimes we are. Like, I swear to God, like, when we traded for, I don't know, like some of these guys, like we get some of these guys and we're thinking that they're going to be the next Mike Trout or something like that. We can be dumb. We can absolutely be dumb. However, we're not that dumb where it's like, you can just completely flip the script on us, like, do a full 180 from what we just heard and then, sell us that Bo Bichette loves to be here and everything like that. Bo Bichette is still one of my favorite players. I have a deep respect for Bo Bichette, but he's going to have to do some serious damage control this offseason if he does want to stay here long term. And then if he doesn't, that's fine, but you're going to have to up your value. You're going to have to play some good baseball next year for the Toronto Blue Jays if that's the case.
That's the thing. All I want in this exchange is that. Like, if you don't want to be here, give me one more good year.
Yeah.
Bring us back to the postseason.
Do your part.
Or if not, if we still suck, let's trade you off for some pieces at the deadline. Like, give us something here, Bo. Like, that's the least you can do after all you've done for us.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna I'm not writing Bo Bichette off completely. I'm not, I'm not one of those guys where it's like, I hate Bo Bichette now. Get this guy off my baseball team. I still think that, like Bo Bichette deserves himself another chance, another opportunity. Has it been a rough season? Have I, potentially changed my opinion of him a little bit? Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, that has been the case. But still Bo Bichette. I still own the guy's jersey. I'm excited to see what he can do next year.
Yeah, and what? Also, Danielle is saying, I don't think Bo hates the fans.
I don't think so.
He dislikes management, and I agree.
And we all dislike the management.
I think we all can agree. Like, that he does, like, if he doesn't want to play here because of the management, I think we got to redirect some of that pissed off. I think initially, we all agree, we're all pissed off to hear that Bo Bichette didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But if it is truly just the management, then that's more reason to get rid of the management.
And that's the thing, right? I think we can all, everyone can understand that,
Yes.
Frankly, it actually blows my mind when I hear Vladimir Guerrero Jr. talking about how much he wants to stay here in Toronto, because you see everything that's happened with this team, with Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro and John Schneider and just the results and everything. It's like you're like, wow, anyone in their right mind who maybe wasn't born in Canada who didn't have a dad who played on the Canadian team and everything like that, they probably want to get the hell out of here like Bo Bichette, but because of his scenario, he still wants to stay here. We just lucked out with that.
The love outweighs the hate or any sort of disrespect for the management. Maybe he's really respected by the management. You know what I mean? Maybe he's had great talks that we don't know of with the management, right? So, I mean, and maybe Vladdy truly thinks, like, if I'm going to be here for 10 years, like, well, it's just a hiccup along the road. We've been great for so long. This is just 1 year. Maybe he's got that perspective. You know what I mean? Knowing his dad playing in the MLB. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right. No, I hear you, man. I hear you.
All right, let's move on, guys. And so we talked about Leo. Let's talk about a little bit more things going on in that series that we just saw with the Twins. Honestly, I'm going to say this. Even though we lost, I think that was a win of a series because you outscored them a lot. I mean, what do we outscore them right here? 18 to math. 6. Murder. But we lost. We lost in this one because obviously all those runs came on the Saturday game. Lots of positives to look on that Saturday game, honestly. Jose Barrios, by the way, which was very close to Jay of the Week. He had a great week. 13 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs. This was a shutout performance.
Phenomenal month of August, too.
A phenomenal month of August. I think his ERA is around 1.5. It was
right around
phenomenal.
there. Yeah, I mean, obviously Bowden Francis deserves all of the media coverage and everything like that, and I hope that he gets pitcher of the month.
Me too.
He really deserves it.
Me too.
But sneakily, Jose Barrios was getting it done right there. 6 inning shutout is beautiful, and for the first time in a long time, the offense had your back.
Oh my God!
Obviously 15-0 was crazy. Everybody was getting on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
It was beautiful across the board. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 3 for 5. Addison Barger 2 for 6. Kirky coming up. Will Wagner 5 for 6.
Nathan
That's crazy.
Lucas 6 for 4 or 4 for 6. Like what? Leo 2 for 4. It's just the only people who didn't do well was David Schneider and George Springer.
Yeah.
Like
Literally the top of the lineup up there.
Yeah.
So,
And then you had the pinch hitters come in, but like whatever, But,
incredible game across the board, and it felt like we were honestly exercising some of the target field demons over there, right? It's like we've been shut out there. We've had such low scoring affairs. You had the wild card series there, and the Blue Jays really just said fuck it on that one and dropped a 15 bomb. Now, the following day, obviously, we did lose.
That was tough.
For the longest time, we were winning.
Yeah.
And didn't happen at the end there. Royce Lewis decided to do a little Royce Lewis stuff. And one of the few guys who, I would say you can't really blame him at all this season, but Chad Green, give him a few right there at the end.
That's the thing. He's going to give up his share.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
You know what? It just so happened to be at this very crucial game. You also had Yariel Rodriguez. I want to talk about him a little bit. Also, before you actually do, one more shout out to Ernie Clement. Hits a homer. He was the one that had the one run lead for the longest time. First inning. Love to see him up there in the 2 spot. But anyways, Yariel Rodriguez, he only goes 3 innings because he pitched a crap load. Got himself into a lot of jams, 2 walks, 3 hits, but didn't give up any earned runs. So I guess you could say it's a win in that regards. He didn't give up any earned runs, but it still goes to show, like, we're not getting too much distance out of Yariel Rodriguez. Maybe he's hitting an innings limit. Maybe we're really starting to cap him right now because then he had Yarbo come in. Yarbo's been awesome. He gives 2 innings and 1/3. But Yariel Rodriguez, I mean, what are your thoughts on this, guys? Because we kind of talked about him last week.
But I'll tell you right now with this, I do think that part of it had to do with the workload, but then you also got to factor in this is almost a happy accident because we broke it down in the last Blue Jays Today show. When he gets to the third time through the lineup, it's game over. Like it's actually like completely game over. The first, for his first 50 pitches. He's actually really good. He's got an OPS against of like 680 or something like that. Like for the first 50 pitches that he throws, Yariel Rodriguez does work. And then after that, it's, batting practice. It's literally batting practice. So I'm not sure what the shift is right there because, you were talking about how you can't really predict what he's going to throw next or anything like that.
Right.
So either MLB players can, or when he gets to that point, he just loses all command entirely or starts making bad decisions. Either way, though, those first 50 pitches really good. After that, not so good. You saw that on full display right there.
Right.
Three innings, 0 earned runs. That could be part of his role moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, some people saying Yariel is looking burnt out, looking tired because he's never pitched this much in a year.
That's another thing, too.
And absolutely. I mean, well, at one point, I don't know what pitch he's going to throw, but if he's throwing it over the heart of the plate, it doesn't really matter at that point. Like, like if it's over the heart of the plate, people are going to recognize it. They're going to catch up. They're going to put him in place. So, I mean, moving forward, Yariel Rodriguez, Ryan Yarbrough, that combo's got to be like the starter, like the 5th spot of the rotation.
I'm perfectly fine with that, man. I mean, again, looking at the numbers here, Yariel Rodriguez, is very, very solid. Those first 50 pitches, give him 3 innings, give him 4 if he's really efficient, then bring in Ryan Yarbrough to do the rest, and then whatever bullpen guys you factor in after that. I'm perfectly okay with that. If you think about that game that they had yesterday, it was effectively a sound strategy right up until Chad Green did give up that 3-run blast from Royce Lewis, right? We held them to 1 run for the longest time. 3-1, looking like a win, and then Royce Lewis called game on us. But in any other game, we might have won that one. So
I want to give a shout out. I saw someone say in the chat being like, we got to extend Ryan Yarbrough next year. I mean, he's been pretty good. In 16 innings pitched for the Blue Jays, 2.2 ERA, 0.8 whip. I mean, I keep thinking about this, and the more I think about it, the more I'm actually really in love with this idea. What if we played a little bit of Tampa Bay Rays strategy baseball? And because now that you have a Yariel Rodriguez, if you let's say you just sign back Ryan Yarbrough for next year, Jake Bloss comes up and he's really effective. Maybe he's the same way. Like his pitch counts is kind of limited right now. What if he can only go like 3-4 innings and whatnot? What if you just add like a bunch of guys in the bullpen and a couple guys in that back end of the rotation as like a safety blanket of like, we can give you a lot of innings to stretch over to the good part of the bullpen, because again, signing 4 really elite bullpen guys in the offseason is kind of difficult. So you almost want to make up the innings in another way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against that in any capacity. I like what Ryan Yarbrough has done with the Toronto Blue Jays so far. I don't know if I'm sold necessarily that he is the guy, just because in terms of his career, it's been just kind of like a mid-tier pitcher.
Yeah.
But somebody like that for sure, right?
Yeah.
And maybe even more than one guy like that. I love the players who can give you length out of your bullpen, or who alternatively can just come in and do 1 inning of work here, 2 innings of work there. You actually kind of saw that from Yariel Rodriguez a little bit this year, where it's like, started a game, then started another game, then played 1 inning over there, right? He was kind of across the board doing that. And when we had Ross Stripling, you saw that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was just phenomenal wherever you needed him. He filled in. Having multiple players like that who could start a game if you needed, who could come in the second inning because your starter got blown up if you needed, or who could just pitch 1 inning in the 7th if you needed. Like, that is beautiful, right? Having that versatility is great. Ryan Yarbrough is one of those players. I think that Yariel Rodriguez could turn in to one of those players. Maybe Jake Bloss, but more of that is always a good thing.
Absolutely. I'm down for it. Like, I feel like low-key, that could be one of those off-season signings that you could literally do immediately.
No, that's why, for me, I'm actually not that, I guess, just enamored with Ryan Yarbrough. Like, he's been great, don't get me wrong. But I think that somebody like that is effectively a dime a dozen. Now, you do need to get somebody that you like, that your pitching coach likes, because these bullpen guys can be very volatile, right? We've seen it time and time again where you bring somebody like this in, gets completely blown up. Ryan Yarbrough, he was on the Dodgers before this.
And then the Rays for a long time.
And I mean, on the Dodgers this year, he actually wasn't doing that good, if I remember correctly. Comes into the Blue Jays and immediately starts to figure it out. So you need to find your guy that you like. If it is Ryan Yarbrough, great. If it's somebody else, fine. But I think that you'll be able to find a couple players like that who could do that role.
Look, as long as, if it works for the rest of the season, it's like, hey, this worked for the 2 months that we auditioned you, let's get you on for one more year. Let's run it back. And you get him. I bet you could sign Yarbrough to something cheap,
it'll be
$6
cheap
million,
as hell.
1 year.
It'll be cheap as hell.
And you'll probably be thankful for that, because he can give you 100 innings, 120 innings out of the bullpen and starting role, and you're like, oh, that's awesome.
Sure.
That's all we need. We need to eat innings. We can't have Yari Rodriguez's and Tommy Nance's of the world coming in and eating innings for the Blue Jays in 2025.
Yeah, could be a thing for sure, guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about that. Let's take a look at this upcoming series. No game today, but a tough one tomorrow. Philadelphia Phillies. This is a team who we can all agree they are significantly better than the Toronto Blue Jays across the board. They are one of the 3 teams right now with 80 or more wins. 81 and 56 is their record atop the NL East. However, we're up against one of their worst pitchers in Game 1, Phillips. Bassett, he's been shaky, but last outing was pretty damn good. He's got a 4.27 ERA, record of 9 and 13. We do need to factor in, though, Phillips with his 5.5 ERA. He's got a record of 4-1. Just goes to show how incredible those Philadelphia Phillies are at baseball. What are you thinking in this one, man? Philadelphia Phillies, are we at home?
We're at home.
We're at home,
We're two-game series at home. I mean, Phillips is a young kid. I feel like, being the young kids that our Blue Jays are, I think we have a good opportunity to put up some numbers against Phillips. I mean, we saw it against the Minnesota Twins, but it's Bassett against the Phillies. He's obviously faced them quite a bit in his career. Schwarber has had Bassett's number. I see Castellanos has had Bassett's number. Granted, Castellanos having a bit of a rough year. Turner has had a little bit of his fair share of some good success with Bassett. This one, if we are going to win, because I know that tomorrow's game,
Wednesday's game?
Wednesday's game is Francis and Sanchez, who's been absolutely dicing. It's actually a fun matchup.
That is going to be a really good matchup.
Bassett had a good start last time out, but then again, it's a very good Phillies lineup, but I don't know. There's something in me that tells me we're not going to get swept. I don't know what it is. At home, maybe. Maybe it is the fact that we have Bassett coming off a good start and we have Francis off of a really good stretch, as we know. I'm going to say, I don't know why I feel this way, but I'm going to say we win this one. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. Yeah.
Okay.
I win this one.
Scott's saying this could be a football score type of game.
It could be. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
It could be a big big slugfest. I'm going to give it the edge to the Philadelphia Phillies just because 81 wins is a lot of wins, and it's a lot more than us. So I'll give it to this one on that one. But I do agree that, yeah, this could absolutely be one of those ones where we're racking up the touchdowns, and it ends up being like 9-7 or something.
Week 1 of football, everybody.
It is week 1 of football.
Get kicked off for this one.
Let us know who you're riding with in week 1. If you got any fun bets, shout out to Betway, guys.
Yeah.
Phenomenal right there. But let us know what you're thinking there.
Yeah.
Moving on to game 2 right here, September 4th. Bowden Francis up against Sanchez. Now, this is an interesting one for me because Sanchez has been cooking. He's got a ERA of 3.49. Bowden Francis' ERA is 3.66, but that doesn't really even do it justice because in the last month, you could be looking at the August pitcher of the month. He has been so damn good. WHIP of 0.41. However, all of that being said, I don't know if he's gone up against a lineup as talented as the Philadelphia Phillies lineup. It is going to be difficult. What are you thinking in this one?
I think, again, you could win this one. You know, you got Francis, and again, I think the advantage would go to the pitcher because you haven't seen a dude. If you haven't seen a guy, I think definitely the advantage is towards the pitcher. But then again, the Blue Jays haven't seen Sanchez in this young Blue Jays lineup. We haven't seen a lot of guys, right? For me, either one of these games could be a win. I really do think either one of these, but because I said yesterday is going to be a win, this game on Wednesday will be a loss just because, I mean, hey, Sanchez, great pitcher. This could be one of those games where literally Francis could be dominant, 7 innings, 1 earned run, but we lose 1-0. It could be just coming to that, or the bullpen comes in, gets blown up. So for me, I'll say loss, and we split the series, 1-1 at Rogers.
That seems pretty safe. However, I'm going to do the opposite here. I'm not comfortable betting against Bowden Francis at this current moment. He's just been way too good at baseball for me to think twice about it. I'm going to ride with my guy until proven otherwise. However, I am looking at Harper's 5 OPS against him. Only one at bat, so I guess he hit a home run.
Yeah, it's a home run. Yeah,
literally hit a home run against him. But all that being said, I still think Bowden Francis is going to cook. This will be an extremely tough test. Scott is saying right now, this is going to be an extremely tough test. Probably the toughest one that he's had in quite a while.
Right.
But like, the guy is just, it feels like he's pinpointing at will right now. He can put the baseball wherever he wants it. It's like he's got all these batters completely tripped up. The last start that we watched from him really sold me on just how locked in he is. So I'm going to stick with Bowden Francis. We win that one, we go 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, that's a good point because, like, look at the last few teams he's faced. Boston, LA Angels, Chicago Cubs, LA Angels. The last big test was Baltimore, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. And then Baltimore for that 5 2/3. Oh, like you faced Yankees for 1 inning. I mean, that was a bullpen roll. 5 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs. So this will probably be the toughest lineup he's had to face. Actually, probably all year. I mean, Phillies lineup is probably one of the best in all of baseball.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It should be a very fun game to watch, everybody. So that's those games, excuse me. But before we continue on and go to our next segment, let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video.
Whoa! Time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being absolutely phenomenal. It is the place to go if you have any interest at all in sports betting on the Toronto Blue Jays, or alternatively, like we said, football season is upon us this Thursday, this Friday, this Sunday, this Monday. Lots of football going on. So if you are a football fan, go hop on to Betway. What are you doing today?
So because they don't have the lines, obviously, for the Blue Jays game tomorrow, they always come out in the day of. I'm actually going with a fun one here, guys. If you've been following baseball all year long, you'll know that the Chicago White Sox are in an absolute big losing streak right now, 10 games.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going up against Baltimore Orioles and Corbin Burnes. That's going to continue, and I think they're going to get destroyed. Corbin Burnes, the odds just to take the win is actually not that good, like 1.22.
Oh, so he's going to take.
He's going to win.
Yeah.
If you want to lock it in, go for it. But I think this is even more fun bet. 6 strikeouts for Burnes against these White Sox. He's going to just dominate.
Yeah.
He's going to dominate.
Yeah, we are looking at this is actually not an exaggeration. Could be the worst team that baseball has ever seen.
Ever.
That's a real thing.
Bet against the White Sox, man, because that's crazy that for them to win is 4.75.
Like, you don't see that in baseball. You don't see that in baseball.
That's insane.
That is truly insanity right there. And I'll tell you right now, even with those odds, I'm still not taking it, folks. So, yeah, I like your bet on that one, man. Let's move on to the final segment of this video. It's time to spin the wheel.
Spinning, fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week. If you guys have been following along, it's been a tight race here, although Adam took a couple off me right there. 28 to 25 right now, so I'm down by a full week. We got 23 more Blue Jays games to go. What is that, four more weeks or so of wheel spinning?
We got this week, next week. Yeah, 4 weeks exactly.
Okay.
So you got to make up 3 points at least.
Got to make up 3 points to go for the tie, 4 for the win.
And we'll be even the rest of the way. Your week, my week, your week, my week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it'll go.
Yeah, it should be something like that. So I got to start spinning some better categories for me. I've been spinning the good categories for you, I'm finding.
Offense is the easy one now.
Yeah, and I keep giving myself like the hard to predict one. So let's go. This is my week right here. Also, Danielle saying you can hear airplanes. That's right. I saw a comment earlier saying, did you guys, from where you are, have you guys heard like the C&E jets and stuff? We are right there, everybody. We can hear it nonstop, and it's going to be on average, which is something that I need, everybody. It's already, you know what it is. It's got to be.
It's Vladdy, right?
It's obviously got to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
That is the locked-in selection without a doubt. That feels like a win.
He had a 400 batting average last week.
Kind of standard.
Just a casual Vladdy week. So, all right, that's good. Let me take a peek. I mean, the offense has been cooking, so, I mean...
There is some options here.
There could be an opportunity. Last 7 days, I mean, Barger's been good. There's been Will Wagner. Will Wagner was Jay of the Week. Do I think he's going to get playing time? I mean, technically he only got 19 at-bats, but that was also an extended week. This is a short week, so I guess we'll have to do an adjustment a little bit.
Right,
it's a short,
how many games?
5 games, so maybe if we did like 12 plate appearances.
What if they just 12 plate appearances.
That's like 3 games, because it might be weird.
Sure.
What is the chat saying? Vladdy?
It's Vladdy all day, and then we got a Barger in here. We got a Wagner.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you're throwing a dart on whatever you do at this point. So
I'm going Will Wagner. He's even the last 15 days, he's second on the team in batting average. So let's hope and ride that Wagner continues to pop off.
Okay. All right. Will Wagner, it is right there, everybody. So hopefully he will get the playing time necessary, guys. Let's spin the wheel and see what it's gonna be.
And of course, you guys let us know. Yeah, Barger. I was thinking about Barger. He'd be a nice little second or third guy. We got average guy. Spin again. Spin again.
I'm so good at doing that, man. I can just hit them consistently. Yeah, 12 plate appearances should be.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah.
Because that's 5 games, 4 at bats a game. Yeah.
Right. Stick.
K per 9.
K per 9. This one I'm never sure about in this season. It used to be Gausman all day, every day, and then these days you don't really know anymore. Last 30 days, obviously Bowden Francis has been incredible.
Trying to see some shorter ones?
Yeah, give me the last 15, see where we're at. Gausman.
So, Gausman's starting to cook a little.
Rios is up there.
Obviously Bowden. Yeah, I feel like the choices are Bowden or Gausman.
This feels like a safe one for me to allow you to go first on. I think anyone could walk away with it.
Yeah. Okay, so you know what? Thinking about our schedule, because Bowden is going up against those Phillies. There's some strikeout guys on there, like a Schwarber. There's some guys that definitely do that. But who do we face on the weekend? Who do we face? Did I skip it? Play? Atlanta. Ooh.
Tough games across the board.
Everybody's
going to have a tough game.
I'll go, what are we thinking? Everyone's saying Barrios, Bowden. You know what? I'll go Bowden. I rode with him last week. I think, even though he didn't get the strikeouts for me, he's been so good. I think the Ks are going to be there for him.
Yeah.
I'll go Bowden.
Yeah, that's super reasonable, man. If you could pull up the numbers again once you've typed that one in, I'll take one more look. I feel like it's Gausman, but I do want to take a quick look at Barrios, because I think I had Barrios last week, and he got it for me, although it wasn't a super commanding win, if I remember correctly.
This is last 30 days. Let's do 15 strikeouts.
Yeah, so, Gausman is there with the most, but right behind him is Jose Barrios. Man, it is pretty tight. I'll go with Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, that's the right choice.
Lock in Kevin Gausman for that one.
That's the right choice. That's the right choice.
All right, final category, everybody. We're looking for that bonus player. It's been a while since I've got one. Come on.
Osman.
Come on. Come around one more time. Come around one more time. Oh, we got a chance. Go, 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 go. Stop. Oh, damn it.
Just passed it,
Damn
guys.
it.
All right, Gosman for you. Okay, we got a little matchup this week. Come on.
I feel like it's not going to stop on it. Oh, it might.
Oh, it might.
Slow down. Slow
No.
down.
Home runs.
All right,
Okay,
well,
okay. Well, you're
You
taking
know.
this.
You know.
It's Vladdy.
You know.
Of course, of course.
Yep.
There's no one
That's
you'd
clear and
rather
obvious
pick.
for me. Okay, you know what? This is the type of week that I could
Yeah.
come back with, actually.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't had a week like this in a while, folks, but I'm feeling good about this week right now.
What's a good second choice, guys? Obviously, Vladdy's the dude. Like, that's so clear. But if we look at Toronto Blue Jays, what is this? What went wrong?
Carl Anthony saying Kirk. Should probably consider that.
No. What's going on? Why can't I view the guys? Toronto Blue Jays. Here we go. Oh, it is glitching hard.
You're gonna have to go straight off the dome for this one.
No. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Last 15 days, Ernie Clement. George Springer's been getting benched. What do you guys got? Kirk, no. Francis, Vladdy, Springer, Barger. That does feel right.
Vladdy's only got 2 in the last
Vlad's
15
only
days.
got 2. Barger, Clement. What do I feel good about? Springer. Yeah, I guess the thing is, like, do I trust that Barger is going to get more homers? Okay, I'm going off super recency. Yeah, I'm never going to pick Dalton Varsho. Do I pick Barger? Do I really go that way and go Barger?
Listen, you're gonna be a severe underdog whoever you select, so you know.
It's like I'm drafting 2 guys, and it's like I don't want to draft either of them, but I got to pick one of them.
Yeah.
Which one do I think is going to do it?
Yeah.
I'll go. Fuck it. I'll go with my guy Barger. Let's have
With
fun.
Addison
man.
Barger.
Let's have fun with
I
it.
went with Addison Barger, I think, earlier in the season.
Yeah,
Didn't,
for
didn't
home
pan
runs?
out for me.
No,
but
no.
I don't know if it was home runs.
Now he's cooking, though. Now
He
he's
is
cooking.
starting to cook with a bit of gas. So,
Yeah,
yeah, Addison
yeah.
Barger feels
All
like
right.
a play right there. That's where we're at, everybody. I like my chances for getting a couple back here.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, though, folks. You let us know in the comments down below your thoughts about everything that we talked about today. We're going to be live for tomorrow's game and the Wednesday game, everybody. So stay tuned for that. Blue Jays Today Show, as per normal, is going to be on Friday. Couple schedule changes incoming, though. We'll let you know in our community tab. But we appreciate every single one of you tuning in, watching along. If you haven't already done so, hit the like, smash the subscribe button. As I just said, let us know your thoughts down below.
And as always, guys, go Jays, go!